Okay, great. So once again, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to all the friends who are here today. We're all gathered here from different parts of the world. Very happy to be here with all of you. Firstly, I would like to thank Mr. Abu Bakr and Mr. Leslie for organizing this session and inviting Father Edwin and myself to address all of you here today. We're very happy to be part and to be present here with all of you, at this moment. Thank you so much. So we will, as we are already, we have already used up a lot of our time. We will jump straight into today's topic, today's session. So the first part, I have like a few questions that I want to ask you. Your responses can come either on chat, or you can also respond directly. Like you can either raise your hand or just unmute yourself and respond to me. And we will have a more participatory session today instead of it being more of a monologue. Yeah. I have a small presentation that I will share with you. Just a second. Yes. Okay, I hope it is visible to all. Yeah. So today, friends, we will be talking about something called Neighbourocracy and Sociocracy. It's an alternative system that we are proposing to strengthen democracies across nations. Even in present context where we need to strengthen democracies, right? I'm not going to go too much into it. We will see what it is and how we plan to do that throughout today's session. Yeah. Okay. So the first question that I have for all of you here is, I'll keep my chat open. Yeah. For all of you here is, what is the dream? What kind of a world do you see yourself, or do you want to live in? Like we all have a dream, like, okay, this is the type of world I would like to see, or this is the type of world that I would like to live in, right? So if that is a question, what type of a world would you like to live in? So you can respond on chat, or you can also respond directly.
Person by person, if you can ask so that everyone could respond that.
Oh, okay. 1 second. So you want me to go one by one?
Yeah.
Okay. You can start, Mr. Zahid Khan. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Muhammad Zaid Khan from Pakistani administered Kashmir. My dream, particularly being living in a part of the region, in a part of the world which is troubled since my birth. Before my birth, it's troubled and the biggest dilemma between India and Pakistan. So definitely, I would love to live in a world where peace, harmony, passion, generosity should come forward rather than all the things.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Dr. Muhammad Osama.
I'm Muhammad Osama from India. I want to live in a place that I should respect others and all should respect each other and live peacefully. Sorry.
Okay, I'm also just putting all your answers in the chat box. Thank you. Mr. Muno, Elvis, Mr. Elvis.
Okay, thank you. I would like to live in a world where there is equal opportunity for all, there is peace, and then there is understanding. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Leslie has said that with a world with dignity and respect. Okay. Anything you want to add? Anything, Father Edwin? What type of a world would you like to live in?
A world without borders.
Without
A world where everybody is important. Everybody participates. The world governed from below. Finished. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Right. Oh. Sorry. Is it is the presentation visible?
Yeah. To me, it's visible.
Visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Sorry, 1 minute. Yeah, sorry, I had some technical issue. Yeah, okay. So we all have a dream world, a world with dignity and respect, peace, harmony, and generosity, respect each other and peaceful, equal opportunities for all, peace and understanding, without borders, everybody where everybody is important, everybody participates, and everybody is, and it is governed from below. So with the 5-6 of us who are here, this is the type of dream that, this is the type of world that we are dreaming about, right? So there is a reason that this world remains a dream, right? It's not a reality today that is why we are dreaming of this world. So my second question is, what are the roadblocks? What are the blocks that are stopping us from reaching our dream? So again, Dr. Zahid Khan, you can start. What do you think are the blocks which are stopping us from reaching our dream? Request everyone to say one.
In my point of view, every step has hundreds and thousands of hurdles and bottlenecks to reach this dream.
Okay, hurdles and bottlenecks. Okay, right. Okay, Dr. Mohammad Osama.
There are some fault in political system. That's why we are unable to reach such goal. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fault in political system. Okay, Mr. Elvis.
I think we have greed, incompetency, corruption, and conflicts. Thank you.
Right. Okay. So greed, incompetency, corruption, and conflicts. And Mr. Leslie says people are not having opportunity with caste discrimination. So you can say discrimination, a lot of different types of discrimination. Okay. So now we have a dream, and these dreams are not being able to be realized. We are not able to realize these dreams into actuality because of all these roadblocks that we have identified. Of course, we can go maybe multiple rounds of just identifying these roadblocks, because it's not just these 6-7 points that have come up. I'm sure we're going to find more and more roadblocks that is stopping us from realizing our dream. So now, my third question is, then what could be the solution? What do you think is the solution to remove these roadblocks? This is Dr.
Same. Yeah. Like this activity from all over the world, the like-minded people should connect together and come forward and make a connection with all others and make a better understanding with each other to present a formidable or to prevent a presentable society towards others.
Okay, so to connect, to mobilize the collective understanding, right? Okay. Yeah. Dr. Mohammad Osama.
I mean to educate and aware every and each individual in such a democratic country that everyone should have to know about his rights and duties. Thank you.
Okay, to educate and create awareness. Okay, Mr. Elvis.
I think we need to create a system of government where each and everyone has an opportunity in the management of resources and in determining how things are governed. We also should put in place a system where people have equal access and equal opportunities in the management of our resources. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, a system with equal opportunities, a system where we have a say. Okay, Mr. Leslie says everyone is treated equally with in harmonies. Sorry, with harmonies in nature. Okay, okay, thank you. Mr. Abu Bakr, would you like to respond? And we also have two more members, two more participants with us. Mr. Answer from Liberia and Miss Linda Rose. Mr. Abu Bakr, your audio is still not.
If Abu Bakr come on chat, please. We can't hear you properly. Same problem with the audio, audibility of the
Yes.
audio.
Thank you, Dr. Zahid Khan. Yeah, so Miss Linda Rose and Mr. Answer, you can also type in chat. What do you think is the solution for these roadblocks? Okay, so I will continue. You can also, the others also can continue to put your answers in the chat box. It doesn't mean we stop the discussion here, so you can continue. So we have a dream, and we have identified some of the roadblocks, and now we also have identified some of the solutions. In our workshops, when we talk to our the participants, we make a big list of all the solutions, all the issues, all the roadblocks, whatever, and then we are able to narrow it down to two things. That is, one is powerlessness and the other is selfishness. It all boils down to these 2 points of powerlessness and selfishness. If you look at all these issues of greed, of political systems, political issues, no equal opportunity, all of this comes down to powerlessness and selfishness, these 2 points, right? So we also have answers that says reduction of discrimination from gender equality, and money is a major source. That is, corruption is an answer. Mr. Abu Bakr says equal distribution of resources in the society. Okay, so these could be the solutions. Okay, wonderful. So like I said, power and selfishness. In today's present world, the powerful, the people who have power or who are sitting in a powerful position are selfish, right? And people who are selfless are powerless. This is the problem of today's situation. People who have power, who can bring change, or who have the power to bring change, they are in a selfish position, or they're sitting in a very selfish position, that they don't want to bring any sort of a change, bring this dream world, because they're only thinking about themselves and their immediate little circle that they want to support, not for all, not the whole society. And the people who are concerned about the whole society, for all people, and all the points that we have mentioned, who want equal distribution of resources, who want no gender discriminations, who don't want corruption, who want equal opportunity, who want educate awareness, all of these people who want all of these, they are sitting here without power. This is today's situation. So then how do we change this? How do we change this dynamics, right? So we go to the next point. So that is, the problems of the world today are very systemic. So when we talk about all these issues, why we don't have all these issues that why are they not a reality in this world today? I mean, when I say not a reality, the issues that we don't want it to be there, why are all the issues present today? Because it's built in a very systematic way, right? If you look at corruption, if you look at politics, there is a system that is feeding itself in such a way that certain section of the society remains in power and certain section of the society can never think of coming anywhere close to having power. So it's a systemic issue. So hence, our response to it should also be very systemic. And if we are part of the problem, right? Today, we are all part of the problem. That means then we are also part of the solution. So we don't have to look for solution somewhere out. The solution is within us because we are also within the problem, right? Then coming to the power and power part, that there has to be a paradigm shift from power as dominance into power as a participation. Today, power is being used to put somebody down or show my authority, sit on top of somebody, or to discriminate people. This is what power is being used for. But the shift should happen in such a way that power should be participation. It should be participatory thing. It should be a shared thing, right? That is the true power. So this is the change that we will have to bring if we want to remove the roadblocks that we have identified, remove the issues that we are identifying, remove the issues that we are facing, and to build the dream world, to live in that, to make that dream world into a reality. These are the things that will have to happen. Now, the question is, how do we do it, right? So first, before we go into it, what is power? So when we talk about power, we talk about political power, economic power, money power, muscle power, religious power, gender power, whatever, we talk about power. But what is power? Power means power is when you have an effective say. That is, if I say something and it gets done, then I have power. You can think about it in all the aspects. In a social structure, if I say something and it is listened by everybody, then I have power. People listen to me. It's the same in a political situation. It can be same in an economic situation. So what it means to have power is to have an effective say. So when we have a space where my issues, when I talk about my issues, when I talk about my concerns, if there are people, if there is a platform where my voice will be heard and I will be listened to, that means I have power, right? So we have to create people's forums to talk, to say, and to decide. So to have power means to have people's forums where we can talk, we can say, we can decide, we can deliberate. So that means power is in our hands. So when we create people's forums, that means power will be in the people's hands. So how do we create these forums? We create these forums through the formation of children's parliaments, youth parliaments, and neighborhood parliaments. So these three things, what are neighborhood parliaments, what are children's parliaments, youth parliaments, we will come to it a little later as we go forward. But these things together is called neighbourocracy. It's basically governance from below, where people govern themselves, where people, just like how we had a small little exercise just now, where people at their own neighborhood level will identify the dream for their own neighborhood, and will identify their own roadblocks, and will identify their solutions, and people will decide what needs to be done to remove those roadblocks to reach the dream for their own neighborhoods. Instead of people who sit thousands of kilometers away, hundreds of kilometers away, and decide what is good for me, right? So today, the present situation is such that our leaders are sitting somewhere else and deciding what needs to be happening in my neighborhood. They're deciding what I should wear, what I should eat, what I should, how I should live. All of this is being decided by somebody else. So we have to bring that back into the neighborhoods where the governance of the neighborhood, the development of the neighborhood, the conflict resolution of the neighborhood will happen at the neighborhood. So this whole thing is called neighborocracy. Now, neighborocracy is built on a foundation of principles, right? I'll just run through how we reached the foundation, because there are new people joining us. So we have identified the dream world that we want to live in. We all have a dream that I wish the world that I live in is in this way. And there are blocks which are not allowing us to reach this dream. And the solutions are also identified. Now, to implement those solutions, to remove those roadblocks, we need to come together. We need to have power in our hands. And how do we get power into our hands? And the alternative we are suggesting to you, the alternative we are bringing to you is called neighborocracy. And this neighborocracy is built on a foundation of certain principles and values. So we will go through them one by one. So the principles of neighborocracy, there are 5. And the first one is smallification, or we call it smallness. So by smallness, we mean that these people's forums or these platforms that we spoke about, where we have an effective say, that has to be small enough where we can all sit in a single circle, face to face, where we can see all our faces, and we can communicate to each other without a microphone. They have to be small enough that we are able to sit together in a single circle, not one behind the other, and we can communicate with each other without a microphone, right? So this is the concept of smallness. And the concept of smallness is not just at the people's level, it is at all levels of federation, right? So when we talk about even at a world level, the group or the people who come together at the world level will also have to be small enough to sit in a same circle and not use a microphone. Why is it so important? So today, in the present situation, we vote for somebody and the person gets elected, and now that person is the representative of hundreds of thousands of people. And when one person has to be the voice for hundreds of thousands of people, only the loud voices, only the powerful voices will get heard through that representative in a higher federation. So the weaker voices and the smaller voices will disappear in the ocean of people, right? But when we are small, when our governance happens in small little groups, then everybody's voice can be heard. Everybody has an opportunity to be heard, right? Nobody gets left out, because we're all in such a space where all can be heard, right? So this is the first principle, that is principle of smallness. In the neighborhood parliaments that we are part of here in the southern part of India, usually these parliaments are with 30 members. And the 30 is usually because we take streets in our villages. One street usually has around 25 to 30 families. So each family will send one representative to the neighborhood parliament, right? So that forms a group of 30 people. That's an average. Sometimes we have 25, Sometimes we might have 32, 35 also, but 30 is the number that we try to stick to. 30 is also a number we stick to because there are times when some of them cannot participate. If it is too small, 10 members or less, when some of them cannot participate, they've traveled somewhere outside, there's a festival, there is some family event, and they're not able to come for the parliament meetings, then we will end up with maybe 5 or 6 people in our parliaments. But if it is too big, then again we lose out the voice. So we stick to a small number. So the first principle is that the neighborhood parliaments or children's parliaments or the youth parliaments have to be small, right? Smallification at all levels, Okay. The next is numerical uniformity. So this, when I say at all levels, that is actually the second principle, where we are the same at different levels also. So we have the street parliaments, the neighborhood parliaments of 30 families each. So in a village, if we have say 30 or say 10 neighborhood parliaments, they will elect representatives to the village parliament, right? So if you have 10, then they will elect about 3 members from each neighborhood parliament who will federate as the village parliament, right? And a group of villages together will elect members to here we call it the panchayat. In India, we call it the panchayat level. Maybe in Africa, you have like a ward level, or maybe you have a different terminology. But in India, we have panchayats. So they get elected to the panchayat level. So a group of panchayats together will elect their representatives to the larger next regional level, and then maybe the district level, and then the state level, then the national level. So the representatives are elected to the next level, and they will all be the same. That is, we will stick to the 30-30, the number 30, or little here and there, but we stick to the numerical uniformity of being the same number of groups up to international level, up to the world level, right? So that is the principle of numerical uniformity. Then we go to the third one, which is subsidiarity. So subsidiarity means, subsidiarity is a principle where any decision making or any activity that can be done at a certain level should be done at the certain level. I'll explain that. What that means is that if we identify an issue at the street level, at the neighborhood level, it is the responsibility of the neighborhood, of the people who are living in that neighborhood, to deliberate, to discuss, to identify the solution, and to implement that solution, right? So the village parliament will not get involved at the neighborhood level issues. The village parliament will focus on village level issues. So issues which are identified at the neighborhood levels, which cannot be sorted out there, will be taken to the village level, and that is where the village parliament will deliberate. And issues that can be discussed only at the national level, the national level parliament will discuss it there. The national level parliament will not decide what has to be done at the street level. They have nothing to do with it. It's the people who live on that particular street or neighborhood. They will identify issues, solutions, everything, and they will figure out how to sort it out, right? So that is the principle of subsidiarity, right? What can be and what should be sorted out at a certain level will be done by that parliament at that level of the federation. It will not go beyond, unless it's if we identify a district level issue, then we take it up to the district level. Or if the district level finds that this issue has to be sorted out by the neighborhood, then it will come back to the neighborhood. But decision making will not happen for the neighborhood level, will not happen at the district level. For the district level, it will not happen at the national level, or vice versa. So this way, we are in control of what is a possibility and what is good for where we are living, what is concerned to us. So people who are not aware of our regional or our local situation, they are not part of the decision making for us, because they may not be able to understand the dynamics of how the things are where we are working, right? Okay, I'll quickly go to the next one. It's called the recall scope, the fourth principle. This fourth principle is a very interesting and a very nice principle, because here, as I said, in smallification and numerical uniformity, we are electing representatives to the immediate next level only. In India, we are going to have elections in the coming month. We here in the in the southern part of India, we are going to be electing for representatives who will represent us sitting in Delhi. So this is it's a very long way, and this person is going to represent hundreds of thousands of people, right? So what happened here in recall scope is, what happens in that situation is, if we are not happy with the way that this representative is performing, we are not happy, we cannot say anything or do anything about it for the next 5 years till the next elections come. But in recall scope, in this principle, we are only electing the person to the next level. So if we find that the representative of our neighborhood, who we elected to the village level, is not doing a good job, is not doing his or her duties, are not being kept up, in our parliament meeting, we have the power to call that person back and elect another person to that position, right? So so this way, our goals and our agendas and our dream is not affected by certain individuals at any point, right? So but we also have to think, no, I might not like somebody and I say, okay, this person is not doing the job, and pull him or her back. No. How do we see that? It is through, we have to make sure that this person is, if they are working towards our dream goal, or are they a hindrance to our dream goal? If they are becoming a hindrance, they're becoming a roadblock, then we have the power, we as in the parliament has the power to call back that person and elect another person, so that our efforts to make this dream into a reality does not come to a standstill. And we don't have to wait for another 5 years or the next election to make that change. This can happen in the next parliament meeting. And we say, okay, we are not happy with the performance, call the person back and appoint the next person. I mean, appoint a better person or a better functioning person, right? So that is the principle of recall scope. Okay, then we go into the fifth principle, which is convergence. Convergence is when it's a principle where when I say we, I mean the neighborhood, the people in the parliament, we come together to do activities together. This is a very important principle, because most of you have been part of different movements in your own countries, development activities. We all have faced this challenge where we build it up to a certain point, and there would be at one point where, because of some issue, the sustainability of that group or the movement or the communities that we build, it kind of breaks down, or it has some sort of a fallback, right? So the only way to fix this is if the people themselves take this up as their own. There should be an ownership, right? And there should be a collective ego that says, no matter what, we are not going to allow an external factor to destroy our neighborhood parliaments, our own governance, and the power in our hands, right? So we don't allow this to happen. So to build that, the principle of convergence is very important. This is where we do a lot of activities together. We come together. We work together. This way, we build a strong relationship between each other. We build a strong community within ourselves, that we don't allow any external factors to break us. It can be as simple as celebrating birthdays and anniversaries together. We come as a community and we celebrate. Or we come together when there is a death in our neighborhood. We all are part of it. So it's not that, oh, it's a death in your family and you have to deal with it. It's not my problem. No, it's our neighborhood that we are all part of it, right? It can be as simple as that. Or it can also be strategies like savings from below, where we all come together and we start our own saving structure. Maybe we start our own marketing structure. Maybe we start our own banking structure, right? So these are all possibilities that neighborocracy can present to the people. But to do that, we need the principle of convergence, where we don't allow external factors to come in, and we build a strong bond between ourselves. And the way to do that is to do as many activities as possible together, so that we keep communicating, we keep talking, we keep seeing each other, we keep coming together, and we build a good rapport between each other. Then this becomes ours. So tomorrow we will not allow any, when we say it is ours, we won't allow an external factor to break our family. In the same way, when this becomes ours, we won't allow anything to break it. We will stick by it and we will sustain it. So even if tomorrow there are no organizations, NGOs, resource persons like us who are going to intervene and help the people, people will be together, irrespective of our presence is there or not, right? So that is the beauty of principle of convergence, right? So again, I'll just quickly run through from the beginning. So we have a dream, and the dream is not being allowed to become into a reality because of certain challenges, certain roadblocks. And we have also identified the solutions of how to remove these roadblocks. And now, how do we implement those solutions? How do we make those solutions into action? And for that, the alternative that we have is neighborocracy, or we are proposing is neighborocracy. And neighborocracy is built on the foundation of these 5 principles of smallification, numerical uniformity, subsidiarity, recall scope, and convergence, right? I hope this part is clear. And the next part that we are going to go into is the decision-making part of it. That is, we spoke about all of this. Okay, we come as a small group. We are federated as small groups up to the world level. We take decisions at our own level. We can call back and, all of that. And we do activities together. But for all of this, we have to make decisions. For all of this, I keep saying parliament. So parliaments means we have to elect somebody. So we have an election. So how can we make the elections or the decision making process more consent based, equal or where we have a system where everybody's opinions are taken into consideration. So that we call that concept as sociocracy. So today's topic is also neighborocracy and sociocracy. So they go hand in hand, glove in hand. So to talk about sociocracy, I now invite Father Edwin to address you on the principles of sociocracy and what is sociocracy and how do we make these decisions, and how is sociocracy a tool that we can use to make very fair decisions where nobody is left out. Father Edwin will explain that to you. And once we are done with sociocracy, I will come back again and we will see how we can conclude this and what are the possibilities that you have in your countries to take this forward, right? Okay, so now I invite Father Edwin to please take over and share with our participants of sociocracy. Yeah, Father Edwin, over to you.
Yes. Am I visible
Yes, yes, yes.
and audible also? Good. So our great youngster has done a great job introducing neighborocracy. And it's a big blessing to have him. Very articulate and very communicative and very systematically presenting things. Good. So we express our appreciation to Freedom. Now, Freedom has been speaking about neighborocracy. He spoke about 5 principles. Another way of saying it, say neighborocracy, 7 principles. It is like this, no? First principle, neighborhoodization. Here, the neighborhood is very important because the only way to get everybody inclusively organized for power, for governance, is to organize them on neighborhood basis. And everybody lives in a neighborhood. And when you organize on neighborhood basis, everybody gets automatically included. So that's neighborhoodization. Then secondly, we say multi-tier federation. It's not enough to be organized okay. Not enough to be organized. How do I see myself now? I must see, okay. It's not enough to be organized as small units at the base. It's not enough that the voice of the people reach only at the small level. It has reached at ever wider levels. So how do you make them have a say on whatever is happening at wider levels too? That we say through federations, multi-tier federations. So neighborhoods gets federated at the say second level, ward level in India, and then second level gets federated at the third level gets federated at the fourth level. Like this go on, district level, state level, national level, international level, and then a global level like that. So multi-tier global federation of neighborhood forums. And then comes the next principle, smallification, where he started. That is, the bigger a forum gets to be, it becomes a game of the bigger voices. The small voices get drowned. So we say it has to be small sized. And then he spoke about the principle of numerical uniformity. That it follows from that. It is like this, you see, I don't see my face while I talk. How do I do that, Freedom?
Father, who are you seeing right now?
I am seeing only you in the main screen.
Okay, you'll have to on the right top corner you have view. Do you see view?
Yeah.
Yeah. Click on that and you say gallery.
Gallery, okay, yeah.
Now do you see everybody?
Yeah, I see everybody. Okay, fine. So you see, follows from the first smallness. You see, first level has to be small, that means can hold only so many people. And then second level has to be small, that it can hold representatives only from so many first levels. So it can contain only so many people. And third level has to be small. That means can contain representatives from only so many third levels. So it can contain only so much segment of population. Like that goes in a numerically uniform way. The result would be no unit at any level would be bigger than any other level, any other unit at that level. That means every district of the same size of population, every state of the same size of population, and every nation also is of the same type of population. That means no more bigger nations and smaller nations. Everybody belongs together under a world government with equal opportunity and rights. So I mean, so when it comes like that, numerical uniformity, advantages, there will not be bigger countries and smaller countries. When there are no bigger countries and smaller countries, no border wars. If no border wars, practically no war at all under a world government. And when no war at all, what happens? All the money that goes for killing expenses like battles, nuclear weapons and all that would go for constructive purposes. So that is principle of numerical uniformity. And then he spoke about subsidiarity. Subsidiarity is simple. Whatever can be done at any lower level, do it there. Don't take it to any higher levels. Higher levels deal with only those matters that no lower level can handle. So in that case, what happens? Most of the decisions will have taken at the base. And at the base, who are the people? The ordinary people. And then they have to decide on such a lot of important issues. They feel valued, affirmed, recognized, people of some worth. Not non-persons, but persons of worth. So they recognized. And when you go, this recognition is something that everybody is craving for. And once this recognition is there, most of the mental health problems are solved. And here, by making everybody important contributor, important sharer in major decisions, everybody is made to feel a person of value, everybody is recognized, and we are going to have a happier society. And then we spoke about the principle of recall. Now you cannot recall a person whom you elect from your constituency to the national parliament because it's big constituencies are too big, and so it is such an expensive thing to have an election. But in our system, at every level, small-sized forums. Small means, everybody can sit around in one circle with nobody sitting behind anybody else, and then talk without a microphone. And that kind of small-sized, compact units are our forums, which we call parliaments at various levels. And then, so when it is small-sized forums at every level, any day you are not happy with the person, you elected from your level to the level immediately above, you can call your general body that compact, small-sized in a parliament or a talking forum there, and then decide to call him back. If you can call back any day any elected representative, then the power is there in your hands, as in the hands of the people at the base. And when the people at the base have power in their hands in an ongoing day-to-day basis, then their problems will be addressed, their needs will be met. And then, so that he spoke about the recall scope. Then he spoke about convergence. Convergence, as he said, is simple. When you have this structure, whatever you want to do it through that. That is convergence. And then why do we insist on that? You see, if the structures have to stay alive, they have something to do together, activities. So when you give more and more roles, more and more activities, savings, income generation, banking, children's welfare, health, or whatnot, whatever you do, you are doing through that means people have enough reasons to come together. Without having a reason to come together, they will not come together. And unless they come together, they will not get fused and will not have that kind of weak feeling like. So we say if you want to have stronger communities at the base, at every level, make sure that there are enough things to do. That means whatever good you want to do, you say it will be done through the neighborhood, through this. And that we call converge everything through that. So this much introduction he has already given. He has done a great job. And then two more things, we added. And that comes from sociocracy. You see, sociocracy is a movement that began among the Quakers in Netherlands. See, Quakers are a sect. They are sticklers for equality. They will not allow anybody to play big, to dominate. Nobody is to be higher, and everybody is to be equally important. Nobody to dominate. So how do you ensure that? So they created their own decision-making structures. And then that way, this sociocracy got evolved. And one of the issues they had to address was, one, how to make decisions without dividing people. You see, normally in our collective decisions, it's a majority game. So to win any point, you need a majority. And that's the way. So to get majority, people go on all dirty gimmicks, like, casteism, and then what? Race, okay, then this language-based identity, and then place-based identity and whatnot. And then because somehow or other you have to tell them that you are our part, so stick with us. So that kind of divisive identities are needed to win elections. So casteism and all such divisive identities are kept up for this political game to win votes in the elections. I used to think, without this elections, without this need for divisions during elections, people would have remained united a long time back, without very much casteistic other divisions or religious-based other divisions. People can be one with all identities among them, with and still work together. We need not divide themselves, but we have created a kind of a political system that halves on majority, and every time a decision is made, one side wins, the other side loses. One side is jubilant, other side is despondent. And the winner is happy, euphoric, the other is resentful, reactive, non-cooperative, indifferent, and all that. And this game goes on every time, dividing people. So these people wanted to see if there could be a different way of making decisions other than going by this majority-based decision. And then they wanted to see what could be the solution. And they wanted if consensus, unanimity could be an alternative. They said no, because that is very difficult to arrive at, because people have different preferential options based on their psychology, their needs, and so on. So very difficult to arrive at a point where everybody thinks unanimously. So there must be some other practical way, a way out. So they came out, and that one fellow who developed the system as a kind of a scientific system, the sociocracy, he was one engineer called Gerard Andenberg. So he came from this background of making decisions, without divisions, and he wanted to find one key aspect that will solve the problems. So he was an engineer. He said, no engine can function unless every part of that engine gives a no objection signal to the functioning of other parts. If it objects, the machine cannot function. So he said, why not we take that principle for human decision, collective decision making? So he said, that would be the solution. Yes, not majority based, need not be even unanimity based, but it could be no objection based. consent based, that's permission based. It is like this, one discussion is going on and some solution is being arrived at. But I think I have still something better. I express also, but I find that people are not yet ready to see that point yet. Then I feel this group at this stage can only reach up to this much. And then why not we try that? So I say, go ahead. I give my permission, even though I have something better in my mind, but I shall wait. So I give permission under this norm, best enough for now and safe enough to try. So I say, okay, let us decide, we shall review this decision on such and such a date. So for every this consent-based, permission-based decision, they put a kind of revaluing date, review date. And that way it goes on. And within that maybe they change me or I change them. That possibility is there. So it is kind of organically evolving. At this rate, time, we are able to reach up to this much. Best enough for now, safe enough to try. So this is the way they make decisions. So there are two ways, decisions. One, collective decision making for solving problems. One. So when there is a problem, what they do? They ask, okay, the facilitator brings the problem. He says, this is the problem, we want a collective solution. And then first round, how do you understand this problem? Problem clarification round. Now in sociocracy, it always goes one after another like that in a round. So that means, everybody gets an equal opportunity. If you have nothing to say, you can say pass, but you have that opportunity. As everybody else, nobody is allowed to dominate. And then, problem clarity. How do you understand this problem? Oh, you understand this, okay. How do you understand this problem? And somebody says, I have nothing more to say. This is pass. And then how do you understand this problem? Like this, everybody shares what he or she understands about the problem. And then that way, a kind of clarity is secured with regard to the dimensions of the problem. And then I am just, cutting it short. Next solution, the next round will be, then what could be the solutions? And then in between, when it's a little more elaborate, they ask what could be the concerns to be kept in mind while solving this problem. That could be one option, but I am going for the basics. What's the problem? Problem clarification round. Everybody, one point at a time, until all the points are exhausted, comes around and around and around. And until everybody says pass, 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 it goes on. That's the sociocracy rounds. So first, problem clarification round. And then solution round. What could be the solution? What could be a solution? What could be a solution? And everybody, one point at a time, so that nobody dominates. And it goes on and on until all the points of all people are, given chance. And then next, facilitator says, okay, then he says, okay, we have listened sufficiently about this problem and about the solutions. Now, could he says, could one or two volunteer to fine tune what the proposals, the solutions given? That means out of all this, you cull out the best and put together everything in such a way that nobody will be able, will object to it. So what would be the best that everybody would be able to say no objection like that? So they come out with a kind of proposal. And when the proposal comes, okay, now how do you understand this proposal? Any clarification regarding the proposal? Okay. Then shall you take up a discussion? Okay. Then they say, any objection? Any objection? Any objection? Everybody like that, one after another, everybody. We ask, any objection? And in sociocracy, this objection is a very important thing. See, objections are not merely tolerated. They are invited. Because tomorrow there may be a problem that you don't see now, better let it come now itself. Let the solution be insulated. So everybody who objects is also contributing to the better shaping of the problem. So every objection is taken seriously. And then they see how best to integrate that objection and modify the proposal. And here, I will come to that a little later. When I speak about the election, will give another dimension to this objection. Now, for time being, this is enough. And then, so suppose you have, oh, that's your difficulty. Suppose we modify the proposal with this provision, provided this like that. So the proposal goes on getting modified. And then at the end, okay, now shall we take this as a final proposal for consent seeking? Then this is the proposal modified. Then any objection, any objection, any objection, any objection, any objection? No objection? Okay, then let us celebrate. We have a resolution passed. And then they put a review date. Oh, so this decision will be reviewed on such and such day. That may give some time according to the nature of the resolution. Okay. So that is the problem solving, decision making in communities, in the small circles and sociocracy. At every level like this, we have practiced this. Now we have our provisional neighbourocracy parliament at district level, state level, national level, and so on. We call it provisional because we say this is people interested, they come together to promote this. They are structures from the top coming down. That's only provisional. The real parliament, neighbourocracy should come from below, one representing the other. That's later. So these promotional parliaments, we have our regular meetings online, and many of the meetings, this approach we follow to make decisions. So at the end, nobody is losing, everybody is a winner. It builds the group more and more. Instead of other decision making where every time they get divided, here with every decision they get more and more united. A kind of the we feeling grows. Everybody becomes a meaningful contributor and participant. A win-win situation. And that is problem solving decision making. And the next one, elections. That's very interesting. Sociocratic elections. Okay, everybody sits in one circle. And the circle is a very important word in sociocracy. Well, the advantage of circle, you will know, no? What is the advantage of a circle? For collective decision making, what's the advantage of a circle? Anybody could say? I can't. Sagar is saying something, but I think he's muted.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Dr. Sagar, you are muted. You are trying to say something. Yeah.
Yeah, hello, how are you?
Okay, good.
Yes, Musa Kone from Sierra
Okay,
Leone.
yeah.
Can you just please rephrase the questions? Is it
I was speaking about people sitting in circles in sociocratic meetings. With everybody in one circle, face to face, with nobody sitting behind. That's a circle. They said this circle is very important for decision making. And I'm asking what could be the advantages of sitting in a circle?
Okay, well, the advantage of sitting in the circle is that we watch ourselves face to face. You see somebody,
Very
if I'm
good.
talking,
Yeah, very
me
good.
directly. Yeah, that's the biggest advantage. So you
Good.
can pay
That's
attention
very
directly
good.
to
Good
what
point. Thank you. Any other advantage? Anybody else? we allow people only one point at a time so that others can also speak.
But we admit that you can communicate directly with each other, particularly who are present in
Okay.
at that moment.
Yeah.
So the presence in the circle should be must, rather than to avoid from the anyone from the outside could jump in and to present his idea, which is neither discussed nor agreed.
Good,
So that's the
very good. Yeah.
circle that where you are present,
Very good.
and you are to the contributor for each and every word and actions,
Okay.
and for every consent and consent, you have to be present all along.
Okay. Any other point? Thank you. Very good point. Second. Any other point?
Yeah. I think it also make the communication very easy.
Musa, 1 minute. We will give others the chance because then sociocracy we come in circles. When others have no point, only you come second point. That's more a learning practice. Yeah. We go on calling names like that. Muhammad, any point from your side? Any other advantage? If there is nothing, you can say pass. That's the dynamics. Kaihan, any point? And Leslie, any point?
Everybody gets an opportunity.
Okay, good. Musa, come now again.
All right. I was just saying that it makes the communication very easy, because, like, everybody attention will be directly paid, that you don't have to pay attention everywhere, because somebody is watching you directly in your eyes. So
yeah,
the informations will be passed on easily.
Yeah, that's very, very good. Very good. Yeah. Now I add one more. Who is more important in a circle?
Everybody.
Everybody. That's the thing. So everybody is at equal distance and equal respect. So that's one part of that. They insist on that circles very much. Okay, and it has to be small size, otherwise it won't work. So sociocracy, one of their main principle of smaller circles, and then the circles have to be, they say, double linked. Double linked means when two groups have to work together, one fellow from this group should represent this group in this group, and another fellow from this circle should represent this circle in this circle. That way, no secrecy. Everything is transparent. I will give one example. I will go now give one example before I go further to the elections. Yeah, the elections I have not completed yet. So, see this fellow, this Gerard Endenberg, he inherited an electronic firm. And then it was going on, I have been introduced and sociocratic practices in that for-profit firm, business firm. And he said better worker satisfaction and better production and everything. But then there was a crisis. The crisis was, these people were producing electronic goods. Then Chinese things were coming, and they are selling, they are becoming a big threat because they are selling at cheaper rates. So these people said, we have no future. We have to lay off workers. That's the decision made. So in sociocracy, various circles. One circle for this work, another circle for this circle, and they are all interlinked radically. And so top circle makes the decision. And the decision is, we have to lay off some workers because no other way. We cannot survive because competition is like that. And then, as I said, in these circles, they have the principle of double linking. That means even this high circle has somebody from the lower circle sitting there representing the lower circle. Double linking. So the message automatically travels to one of the lowest circles. And there they discuss this, that's not needed. And they said, you see, for emergency, we have some emergency fund. Then to solve the problem on a long-term basis, even that laying off is not the solution. Rather, they said, no, we shall get better orders. And how do you get better orders? They make some of these, technicians, technical job people, give them a kind of cuff shirt, white cuff shirt, and a kind of briefcase and so on, and a tie and so on. Let them go as salespeople. And these people who are making machines, and they were now turned into salespeople. They went and explained to the people why, even though Chinese products were available at cheaper rate, they make better gains by buying our products because long time and various qualities. And the orders were coming in, and they said, though we are about to close the organization, but because of this double linking, a fellow from the lowest another circle is able to contribute to the top circle and save the factory. Otherwise, it would have died. So, sociocratic decision making, partition of the last and the least, saves the saves the company. And then, so I come back. That's a deviation. Just explain that double linking process. And now I come back to the election. So election is like this. Everybody sits in a circle. And then the facilitator asks, see, we have to choose somebody for this role today. So, for an example, we have the provisional parliament. We say we have to choose a prime minister for this provisional parliament. And then we ask, how do you understand this role? That means, what does it mean to be the prime minister of this organization at this juncture? So what could be the challenges, responsibilities he has to shoulder? And then it goes on in a circle, it's one point at a time. And she says, oh, he has to do this, he has to do this, he has to do this, he has to shoulder this responsibility. And some people say pass, pass, and then only one point at a time. And then until all the points are exhausted, people go on sharing their concepts. And then the facilitator say, okay, we have now some role clarification. You know what the role is. Now the next question, to shoulder this role, what type of a person do we need? So first one is, what is the person to do role? Now, and the qualities required. What type of a person? So it's like, he should be this, he should have this experience, they should have this competence, they should have this skill, they should have this background, this mental orientation, like this. It goes on one point at a time until all the points are exhausted. Then the facilitator says, okay, now we shall go for the proposals. So everybody please take a paper, slip of paper, and then write your own name on the top. After writing the name, he says, okay, now you take some time in silence, thinking seriously. Who in your choice would be the person best suited for this? Then after the silence, write down the name of that person under your name. So it's like this, I so-and-so, propose so-and-so, like this. So then everybody, writes, and then the slips are collected. The facilitator takes his slip. You so-and-so, propose so-and-so. What are your reasons? And then Musa, you proposed Kaihan. What are your reasons? Alamu, you proposed Abu Bakr. What are your reasons? Like this, everybody has to give the reasons, the arguments which made him propose that person. And then after everybody has spoken, the facilitator says, okay, individually thinking, you propose, you said so and so could be the best person, and you had your reasons. But now you have listened to the arguments of so many others. Maybe you find that somebody else's argument is better than yours, more valid, more relevant to the situation than yours. Then feel free. You change your the proposal. So, but they said before you change, you explain to the group what makes you now to change. That means, initially I thought because of this and these reasons, you would be best. But what this fellow said makes a lot of sense. So I just changed. So he has to explain before everybody, so that others also may be guided. Maybe his reasoning for change may help others also to change accordingly. So like this, time is given for everybody to make a change if they want. And when this process is over also, the beautiful thing is the facilitator doesn't go by counting how many proposals one got and so on. That will be going for majority again. So he rather interacts with them. He says, these were the main arguments that came from you, and these were the arguments, and this is the supportive argument, somewhere like that. So accordingly, he should be primarily this, and then this and this, and formally this and this persons. Like this, arguments, he lists the arguments and he interacts with them, with the people, in a face-to-face community only, interacting, and get them to arrive at some consensus. And then he proposes. So I propose so and so for this and this and this and this and this and reasons. Any objection? Goes on asking everybody. Any objection, any objection. And if anybody has any objection, the objections in sociocracy has to be not simply I don't like his nose. No. Every objection in sociocracy has to be, they call, argued. That is given with the reasoning. And then the objections has to be also to be serious enough, that was paramount, to call for a whole revision of this process. And how do you assess the seriousness of any objection? And it is like this, they say, seriousness here under the criteria of how this particular factor affects this objection, relates to the ability of the group to work towards the same, because any group is identified by same. So any aim statement must be there in any group. So is it affecting our ability to work towards the aim? That's the measure of the seriousness of the objection. Is it serious, paramount? And if so, an objection is found serious, that is okay, that is valid, then why not we look for somebody else? Then again he interacts. Now, based on this and these reasonings, as you have mentioned, why don't we look for this person? Interacts and comes to a kind of an understanding. And then I propose this person for this and this and these reasons. And then any objection, any objection, any objection, any objection. No objection, come on, we have elected, let us celebrate. So everybody's objection is taken into account. Everybody is given a voice and everybody is happy. And then they say it will take long time. No, initially it may take. Very soon people get used to it and the elections take place very fast. So that way, we had so many elections, and after every election we are more united. And this principle is smaller circuits, double linking, decision by consent, sociocratic elections. That way. So this is more or less what sociocracy is about. I just ask you one question. Suppose we have this sociocratic process. Small circles, double linked, decision by consent, that is permission with no objection, and then sociocratic elections. What do you think the situation would be? Anybody? Only one point at a time. What are the advantages?
Yeah, thank you. I think the advantage would be we'll have a well-informed decisions that will be taken that will lead to a free and fair elections, or that will lead to development with this
Thank you,
particular
Musa.
principle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Musa. Thank you. Great. Anybody else? Any other point?
Maybe the best ever choices we got with consensus.
Good. Thank you. Very good. Yeah. Agit Khan. Thank you. It's very good contribution. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Anybody else would add any point more? Somebody's talking. We don't. Mohammed, is it? Yeah.
Abu Bakr is talking. Abu Bakr, we can't hear you. You can pin out if you type your in the chat so that we could know that what you are saying.
Can anyone hear me?
Orderly, we can't hear your voice clearly.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
We can hear. Okay, now. Fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it's good now.
Okay, now.
Oh,
I think too much echo.
okay. I hope I can go on. Can I speak?
Go on.
I hope you can hear me clearly.
I think too much echo.
Okay. First I will thank
Voice is breaking. We don't hear anything.
Yeah.
We heard the first sentence and then we don't hear anything now.
If you can carry on, Pritam and Edwin.
Okay, yeah, fine. So I have more or less explained. I think I have done the job our Pritam gave me. So back to Pritam. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Father. I think
for the
yeah, we are running out of time, so we will just quickly just finish the session. Friends, so now we have listened to the principles of sociocracy and also the sociocratic elections and sociocratic decision making. These are the points that we have listened to. We'll just go to the last part of today's presentation. Sorry.
If I can add Pritam something.
You are.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Zahid.
Thank you, Edwin, and thank you, Pritam. Actually, in Pakistan, you know, we are having the fast here, and we have to make iftar of our fast after 1.5 hours. Make preparation, all that. If you can summarize all things within a short period of time, so that we can conclude it in a better way, and can make our preparations for the iftar of our fast.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So I'm not going to take more time. We have almost finished. So we have seen the sociocracy part. Okay. So if we follow and incorporate the 4 principles of sociocracy in our and our 5 principles of neighbourocracy in our and form neighborhood governments, we can truly governance from below. We know that for a fact that we can we can bring power into the hands of the people. Not that we bring power into the hands of the people, but people can hold power in their own hands. That will be the impact of including these principles in our area of work. This is not something new that we have to do. It is, if we are whichever area that we are working in, Dalit rights, human rights, women's rights, child rights, whatever we are working in, these are principles that we can include in our area of work. In decision making, we can definitely sociocratic decision. Always principles of neighbourocracy in the way we come together as small little groups, and the way we federate, and the way we look at power dynamics. So these are values and principles that can be included in any area of work that we do, right? But our goal will be that governance, that people will be in charge and people will hold power in their hands, right? This would be the impact. And next is, the big question is it possible? These are things that we're all talking about, and it's very beautiful to listen to. Is it possible? The simple answer is yes, it is possible. We have few examples in front of us. If you can Google the Kudumbashri model in Kerala, it is a women's collective that has happened from the neighborhood level in South India, in the state of Kerala. It is now they have about 300,000 such neighborhood groups, women's groups, and they have mobilized themselves, and they have economic growth, is marketing, and these are things that we can definitely learn from them. And we have another example, which is Rojava, which is the north and east of Syria. They have even they have come together. Just a second. I will just yeah. So northeast of Syria, they have even it's an independently administered territory. They have even further. That is, the entire government, including its defense and economy, is run on the basis of the vision of neighborhoodization. So the entire country of Rojava runs on the concept of neighborhood and neighborhoodization. They call it democratic confederalism and horizontal government. So these are all possibilities, not just at the neighborhood level. We have models at the state level where economic and marketing strategies have been built through these neighborhood structures. And also the whole state of Rojava, the whole country of Rojava is now being built up on the basis of on the basis of neighborhoodization, including that defense decisions are made by the people at the base. So it's not somebody who decides we are going to go to war and we all have to people of the country decide, are we going to go for war or not? So that, because we are the ones who are affected by it. So to that level, it can be taken. We have examples and models. And then this is best for now and safe enough to try. This is our so we say this because these are the whatever we have presented today to you have come up with a lot of experience, changes. They've gone through a lot of evolution. So at this moment, this is a system that we feel is best for now, and it's safe enough to try. It's not going to harm anybody, but there is a scope for it even further. It can be developed even further. That is the beauty of it. It is open-ended. We're not saying that this is the hard and fast rule and this is how it has to end. Based on the region and the situation in that particular region, country, social, political, and economic situation, it can be evolved. It can be changed to fit into that particular, in respect to that particular region that you want to work in, right? So that's the beauty of it. Now, I will end with, before I end, I would like to say that this 1.5 hour session is actually not sufficient. We need to understand, and this is just an introduction. We have just a taste of what neighborocracy and sociocracy is. We need to have further discussions. We are open to having these discussions. If you invite us again to address you, Father Edwin and I and our team, we have a good training team. We are more than happy to be part of it. But before I end with one question to all of you, and that is, are you ready to join hands to make our common dream into a reality? I stop with that question. The answer to that question, you will have to answer it to yourselves, right? You don't have to answer it to us. That are we all ready to make this into all our common dream? Are we ready to make it into a reality? And then if we are, then we need to take the first steps towards it. So I stop there. Maybe we can have a quick interaction round. That is, if anybody has any questions to Father Edwin or to me, you can maybe put it in chat, or you can directly ask us, and then we can end the session. Yes, Mr. Zahid Khan, you have a question.
Well, thank you, Pritam, and thank you, Edwin, for having the wonderful thoughts which you are presenting. But how this because it ultimately leads to governance, and this is a system of governance. You have indicated that this comes from the below, not from the upper side. It comes from the front and elevates towards the upper level. But what's about the system of governance which we are experiencing right now in your part of India, in my part of Pakistan, in Abu Bakr's Nigeria, and elsewhere in the world? Because there is a system of governance of like governmental system, the democratic system, somewhere presidential system. So you have to do some sort of replacement with that system, with this system. So how it is possible, and like which I earlier told you, because there are more than conflict. You have conflict with India, you have conflict with Pakistan, you have having conflict with Sri Lanka and Nepal, and like us, we are having conflict with Afghanistan and all other issues, and even in the broader sense, like we are living in the digitalized world, we are having conflict with the rest of the world, the Europe particularly, where the power corridors are, and where the United Nations power corridors are, who dictate all the theories and policies. So how you would summarize all these activities to an ultimate, how that goal which will be achieved, and how it is possible to cater to be a peace and harmony and governance all along in all the regions, in all the continents. Sorry, it's a longer question. I have been
Thank you, Mr. Zahid. Father Edwin, would you like to respond to that, or do you want me to respond to that?
You start.
Okay, so Mr. Zahid, so first I would like to, I mean, it's a very very valid question that you have raised. It's true. So this is something that it's like an alternative to the present system. Why do we need an alternative? Because the present system, it might be the democracy. We are the biggest democracy in the world right now, India. I think we have been re-termed that we are no more we are called what, electoral autocracy or something like that. They've named it different now. So no matter what, so the systems that our countries are in, all our countries, it might be Pakistan, India, Nigeria, wherever all of you are from, the systems are failing the people, and that is why we are looking for alternatives. And so we need to, this is an alternative that could bring a real change in the lives of the people of the countries that where we are all facing different types of conflicts. Will there be resistance for this change? 100%. Because the people who are sitting in power, they do not want this change. Because if this change comes in, that means they are going to go out of power. The power is not going to be in their hands anymore. But if this change is brought from the people's level, if this is a change that the people want, then it is a change that can be brought into this world. So we are looking at we're not looking at this change that would happen in the next 5 years or next 10 years. It's a change that it's a gradual change. That is why we are not only focusing at the adults, we are also focusing the children. So when we are also looking at, a change in a paradigm shift in even in our thinking and in our children's thinking. So that when we're looking at fair governance and just governance, a society, we're looking at the people also thinking in a different way. Because only if the people decide to bring the change, then it is possible to bring the change. So we need to do this. This is why we need an alternative. But how do we start? So we are looking at, in India, what we are doing is it's going simultaneously at 2 levels. This will become a reality when it comes from bottom up. That is from the people's level to the national level and the world level. That is when this will become a reality. That's the dream. But to make it into a reality, we are taking a top to bottom approach. That is, we are called a provisional parliament. It's a group of people who are working to promote this and make this reality take it from the bottom up level. So it's happening simultaneously. So it's a group of promoters who are taking it to the bottom level, and from the people's level, it is coming up, right? So what you say is very, very valid, because even with the Kudumbashree program, when the women started becoming really politically powerful, then the powers from different regions came and they were made into a standstill situation. So that is why we need to have these multi-tiered federations, so that no matter what external factors are, they don't disrupt the growth or the path of growth that we are taking. So this is my response. I would like Father Edwin to add to what what I've said, or have your opinion. Father Edwin.
You done well, Pridham.
Yeah.
Now, I just wanted to say, we have to, first of all, make people dream of the things. Because people need new dreams of new possibilities. Because what they know now is only divisive, division-based, majority-based decision-making. This is the only thing that they know. You see, Churchill used to say, democracy is the worst thing, except for the ones that have gone before it. That means, this is the best so far. But it did not be the ultimate. We have to give the people new dreams. And the new dream is one of non-divisive, inclusive, participatory democracy from below. And that we are going to give. And this somehow, this new dream has to be introduced through a new culture, not merely just talks. Of course, talks and movies and novels all are important, okay. But we need to also introduce a new culture. So we are introducing this culture in our meetings. We have a provisional neighbourocracy parliament at national level. We have provisional state level neighbourocracy parliaments, district level. This way, we get interested people. They are promoters. That's why we call them provisional, not real. They start from above. They practice. When they practice, they have a taste of it. They are able to communicate. And through that process, they develop into convinced leaders. That way I have seeing it happening, very beautifully. So this way, I would suggest we need also a kind of international provisional parliament where, could be there, Musa could be there, Kaihan could be there, Abubakar should be there, Alamu, and all these people. We shall meet together every week for an hour to see how we can take it forward. While we get used to that, then we would like to have for each nation separately, each state separately, like that. There will be enough people who know the practice and the dream and the culture to take it forward. This is what we are doing now. So let us share the dreams. Let us start non-threateningly from below. We shall even use innocent terminologies that do not threaten people, but we should know where we are headed to, and gradually this will overtake. Because people are getting tired of
how much states you have other than might be the south or the west or the how much states had it adopted the system, this type of system?
No,
you are trying.
they have no state has officially adopted. We are just introducing it to various groups. So we have provisional parliament. That is only provisional. We don't have any authority there. But we have the dream to push. And more the number is growing. And by meeting every week, we keep the people together and become a bigger and bigger force. We have also provisional neighbourocracy parliament for children at the world level. And then we shall meet together. The people who come together should not just to go back, okay, we finished. Let us come and meet. When we meet, we encourage one another, strengthen one another, contribute to the process. We make this culture ours. We become adept at telling this, sharing this culture with others. And then our communication becomes more convincing. So this is the process now we are having. I have written a booklet. I thought you all have the booklet online. Hello, Neighbourocracy. Did you get that right?
No, still I have not got, but I will definitely, if you can send me, if this should be in the group, I will download it from there.
I asked them to share in the group. So everybody can have it. And then when you get a kind of a better picture, that's written in a convincing, readable way. And then if you could, small booklet only. We purposely made small so that people don't get frightened by the size of it. And then, so that's one way of spreading, circulate the booklet online or offline or whatever. Then get the interested people to come together, meet together regularly. That's the one way to sustain a movement. Otherwise, everyone interested, but when they are alone, after some time they forget the whole thing. Okay, great. They lose power. Coming together is strength.
Yeah, thank you, Father, for that. Mr. Musa has a question that he says, what would be the next step after this webinar today? I think that's a very important question. Father Edwin has already touched that point on what we could do. My suggestion is that maybe if this group already has a WhatsApp group, then you can include us, and or what you can do is then start a group, and you can organize with like-minded people. You can organize such discussions or maybe trainings. We have different training modules which go depending on people's availability and things like that. So people can be trained in becoming trainers in this concept, so that you can it's like a TOT. So you can have trainers who can take this at your own country level. So we can help you train such people, become trainers, or you yourself can become trainers. You can be part of our group at the world level, at an international level. So we can perform a group, and we can regularly meet, like Father Edwin said. We can all regularly meet and discuss on how we can take this at the world level. So we have a provisional Neighbourocracy Parliament of India, where we talk about what we can do at the national level, at India level. How do we take it to different states? And the states decide on how do we take it to different districts. So we can also have one at the international level, where we decide on how we can take it to different countries. Or maybe you can have one provisional African parliament and one Asian parliament. It depends on the people who are present here. So we, in our Indian provisional parliament, we have a external affairs minister. So this person is responsible for reaching out to different countries, different people from different countries, and organizing trainings and planning, such things. So we can be in touch and take this forward together. But it will be your responsibility to identify people in your own regions who would be interested to take this further, right? Okay, so I think that that answers. Mr. Leslie has shared a link on child-led governance that builds a sustainable world. So you can also download that link and look at the possibilities and the achievements that children's parliaments have done at the world level, right? Okay, so I think we should respect the fact that it's time for iftar for many of the participants. So I would like to stop. If there are no other questions, I would like to stop there. And maybe Mr. Leslie, maybe you can come in now to wind up today's session, if possible. Because Mr. Abu Bakr is not there.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming in and listening to the to the topics and giving valuable interventions and questions which are valid, very, very valid in the present context. And as Father Edwin suggested and Preetham suggested, we will be looking forward to communicating and being organized on these concepts, on these concepts. So thank you one and all. And it was a wonderful presentation by Father Edwin and Preetham. I have to acknowledge that also. And so let us close this webinar for this day. Thank you.
Hope you have put your email on the chat or something. So that we could be in touch.
Yeah.
Emails.
Yeah.
Registered, Father.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you all. See you soon. Yeah, take care.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.